Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. Today I'm having a quick look at this. This laptop is in for servicing at the moment, and as I see quite commonly, the hard drive has been partitioned into a C and a D drive. This is something that I generally remove on site because while there is a time and a place for partitioning, it's generally a pain in the backside though, because it makes it very difficult for the customer to make use of the free space on their hard drive. Because typically what I see is the C drive is chock-a-block full and the D drive is empty. Now it's possible to configure the home folder to sit on D drive by default, so all the user data fills up the data drive. However, even if you do that, they fill up the D drive and then there's still loads of free space on C. So again, it just makes it very difficult to make use of the free space on the drive. There are legitimate times when partitioning is better, such on servers or other custom setups. But by and large, on a home computer, there's no need to have partition drives. It's just a pain in the backside. So normally you could very easily remove this partition in disk management. Under computer management, we would just right click on the partition, delete it, and then we'd right click on the C drive and extend it. However, every now and then I see a case like this one where there's a recovery partition or some other kind of system partition between the two partitions. Now, because this is a system partition, in this case a recovery one, the disk management console doesn't allow us to do anything with it. We can't delete this from here. It's treated as an immovable partition. So that means even if we delete D drive, we can't extend C drive to cover the new space. Now, the way to solve this is with the command line partition editor, which is a little known tool that can do everything that disk management can do and more, but is more powerful. Just a quick interruption because I forgot to mention it while I was recording. Please bear in mind that this method will destroy the data partition, so make sure that you back up or move the data that's on that drive somewhere else first, and then continue with this method. So what we do, we right click on the start menu and we open up an administrative command prompt, which I've got here, and what we're going to do is we're going to bash in disk part, which launches the disk partition editor. So the first thing we're going to do is list the available disks. So list disk, and this will show us what disks are available on the system. Because this is a laptop, there's just one physical disk. So let's select disk 0. So that has now told us that we are working with disk 0. Now let's list the partition. So list part. Thankfully, you can shorten partition to part in the vast majority of cases because it's a long word. Right, so there's our 4 partitions. So let's start out by getting rid of the data partition. So select part 4 and we're going to delete part. Bow. And as you can see, the computer management in the background has updated showing that the partition has been removed. So now we're going to move back to part 3. So select part 3. Whoops. There we go. And so now we're working with partition number 3. Now because this is a system partition, we need to apply the override command, which tells it to ignore the fact that it's a system partition and do it anyway. So we're going to delete part override, like that. And there you go, as you can see, it's now force deleted that system partition. Now because that's a recovery partition with recovery data on it, we don't particularly care. It's not required for Windows to run. That just contains the manufacturer's recovery image. However, these manufacturer's recovery images are not really a whole lot of use because in the event that you actually need to use them, you've probably got a failed hard drive, which means you can't use the recovery image anyway. So again, I'm not in the least bit concerned about losing this. Right, now we've done that, we can now extend the C drive to cover it. So the easiest way to do this now is just to go back to the disk management, right click on C and extend volume. And we just go next. By default it will select the maximum available space, next, and we click finish to confirm, finish, and bang. Now if I switch back to file manager, as you can see we now have one single large disk. Whoops, F5, there we go, 297 gigs. And that's it, we're all sorted. That's the very easy way of removing a split partition without disturbing any of the data. Friendly reminder, make sure your data partition is empty or that you don't need any of the contents before you do this, because you will lose the contents when you do this. Right, thank you very much for watching, see you all soon. Goodbye for now.